Hello everyone, I'm Breathy1322 and this video is going to show the fastest cars made by the in-game manufacturer Truffade in terms of lap time. As always, the position counter is in the top left with the best lap time the vehicle achieved in the top right, and since it's more for interest purposes rather than anything functional, non-raceable cars are included in this list. Also, as the title says, this is cars only, there's no bikes, planes or anything else here. This video only focuses on track performance, so if you're interested in top speed where braking, cornering and acceleration aren't relevant, check the link in the description for the top speed testing series, and if you want to know more information about this testing, including the extent to which it's accurate and how useful it is for you personally, have a read of the full description as everything that you need is in there. This video lists all Truffade cars and is correct as of the Los Santos Tuners update. For any vehicles added after that or other classes of cars, check the playlist linked in the second line of the description, and feel free to check out my Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want to support this work and get testing results of any new cars a little bit early. So 5 cars made by Truffade, and unlike what we saw last week with Anis where they were basically all grip monsters, Truffade have specialised in top speed kings, at least originally. Obviously their top speeds aren't quite as on the pace of the sort of the top cars these days, but when the game was first released, the car with the highest top speed in the entire game was the Z-Type. And some of you who've never known about that might have been expecting me to say Adder. The Adder was in second place and it did have the highest top speed of the supercars class, but the Z-Type was 1 mile per hour quicker than it for top speed. So yeah, Truffade have always had these good high top speed cars. Even when they introduced the Nero and the Nero Custom, which is in second place for lap time, those were definitely, on the higher end of top speed as well. They just had a bit more grip about them so could get better lap times, and obviously a 1:1 for the Nero Custom is a very, very respectable lap time even now for supercars. But yeah, one of the things that obviously in those early days of Truffade with the Z-Type and the Adder is that they did suffer in terms of cornering ability, and the Adder, especially without a spoiler, really suffered in the supercars class for racers. Even though it had a great top speed, it couldn't really compete in races. That was kind of fixed a little bit with the Neros because they had the grip to be able to compete with the cars back then, and that trend has continued with our number 1 vehicle for Truffade, which is the Thrax, because the Thrax has a fairly decent top speed. It's okay, but actually I'm pretty sure its top speed is less than the Adder, but it corners very well. It's really, really good cornering ability, and that allows it to be in the top 5 for the supercars class, only just slightly behind the S80RR that we saw in last week's video from Anis. So over the years, the Truffade haven't made many cars, and they started with sort of high top speed, bad cornering ability cars. Then they went to sort of the Neros where they were sort of a mix of both, and at the minute the latest car that they've made is the Thrax, that is all about cornering really and doesn't have that much in the way of top speed. So it's interesting how the cars from Truffade have evolved over time, although you could say that that's a sort of symptom of just cars in general in GTA, at least more modern releases, all trying to go for those higher lap times and better performance, and the way that you do that is just putting more grip on, or at least that's what Rockstar decides. It would be nice if we could, out of all these cars that we've seen here, even though some of them get incredible lap times, the most fun car to drive and most fun car to race with in this game that is made by Truffade is the Adder. And that's still one of the most fun cars to race with across all vehicles in the game, and it's because it has a decent amount of power and a decent amount of top speed, and it doesn't get a spoiler, it doesn't have much in the way of cornering grip, and that is the right level for something that's interesting to drive. It's a bit of a challenge to make the most of, gives you a bit of a skill gap rather than just having cars that go around every corner at full speed. So yeah, more cars like the Adder please. Great vehicle, even though it was never the top spot for anything really, and it can't compete in races. Just so much fun to drive. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this one. Consider supporting on Patreon or become a YouTube member if you want testing results early, and remember to read the description for more info, comment with your thoughts, like the video if you enjoyed or found it helpful, and subscribe for more. Thank you all so much for watching, I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you next time.